Why won't it line up? We're trying to show people that this is an easy project.
Jake, what are you doing today?
Oh, you made it. Thanks for stopping by for today's project. We're putting new calipers on the Raptor. Why would we put new calipers on the Raptor, you say? Since you probably watched, you were hanging out with us when we did the rotors and the pads. And the answer is, this sucker, something is not going right. It is like pulling so hard to the left, it looks like the Raptor wants to jump off the road.
Ford.
But we think this project today should only be a couple hours. It's not as bad as you think. In fact, let me show you, we'll pause this for a second. Let me show you the new calipers. So these babies are Duralast. We got these, where did I get these at?
AutoZone.
AutoZone. Nice thing is it's a lifetime warranty, and check this out. Everything comes assembled and greased and just ready to go. I really like that because that's what we think is sticking. Look how pretty that is. My only complaint to Duralast and AutoZone, why don't you paint these red? Everybody knows that if you paint your calipers red, they stop faster. Duh. But we'll work with what we got. So what we gotta do is we gotta jack this baby up. We gotta get it on stands. We gotta get the tires off. That is the first step. So let's go.
That sounded like 3 steps.
Is that 3 steps? The next step is 3 steps. Let's get to work.
Get on it.
Oh, so one of the theories is that we've got a pad, because it doesn't stick all the time. It doesn't grab all the time, which is really weird. Like, went away and then came back. As problems that you don't fix usually do. They don't usually fix it. But I thought maybe, you know, Tom was thinking that maybe on the freeway, when it's definitely not worse, it's like it doesn't happen or it really happens, is maybe it's getting hot and sticking. So I was like, is this going to be stuck? But it's not. And the other question is, when we get this off, am I going to have a worn out pad somewhere? Because it's been rubbing. So I don't know, but that's what we'll find out. All right, so wheels off. Now we need to disconnect. We talked about this. Disconnecting the brake line from this first is going to be a little easier, we think, while this is all in place. And then it's also not a chance of dropping this after I take the bolts off. So we're going to take that off. You're going to get a little bit of dribbling. Let me show you what we got to do back here. So this is the brake line right there, if you can see that, baby. And then we got a bolt here and a bolt there. And did you notice that I said bolt, not nut? I said bolt. I did.
You must be eating your Wheaties this morning.
Or my brain's waking up. So that's the next step. We'll take this off, and then we'll get a good look at maybe if the brake pad's worn or if it's screwed up in there or not. I hope not. Doesn't look burnt here, so hopefully that's it. Okay, so with these calipers, there's only a couple steps you've got to do. When you take these apart, you're going to get a little bag. These are like the anti-rattle clips or whatever. They just go right in here. The easiest way is to look at the old ones and make sure that those tabs are both facing out. So see how that little clip is out? That's the same thing on the back side. I just got grease on my hand. And that's the other thing, is you got to grease these babies. So when you get these, the pads, if you can see how they slide back and forth in those grooves right there? It's really good to put some grease in there, because you want to make sure you aren't getting anything binding or sticking or anything like that. So grease those babies up, and then you should be good to go. So this is the next step, is you just grab your pads, make sure you put them in the right spot. Little tip. If you were like, crap, like I did, I don't know which one's which, look at the wear points on the back, if you're reusing the same pads, that is. And here you can see this one has these open holes right here, and this other pad that I put in there had the round holes from the pistons. So it's easy to just slap these babies in here usually. So next step though is putting the brake line back on. There's actually a couple things with this. So when you take the bolt out, let me show you where the bolt is back here. So you saw the bolt, this is a new one. And when you take this baby out, eventually it comes out. Eventually, how long is this bolt? Okay, longest bolt. So check this out. I'll give back to the cameraman. So there's 2 washers on here. I almost called those nuts. And there's, see that hole in the center right there? What would you even call that hole there? It drains out the bottom here. So, like, what is actually?
It's a hole.
It's a hole. So anyway, you got your brake line here. And you just got to make sure when you put it back in that you sandwich it with these 2 babies right here. Yeah, but Tom, why is this like that?
Well, show them the banjo.
So this here, this is the banjo. See the hole right there in the banjo?
Banjo hole.
Banjo hole.
So the fluid comes down and then it goes out that little hole and then into kind of a, there's kind of probably a groove around the inside of that. And then so it actually is able to go out of the brake hose and into the bolt. And then it flows through the bolt into the caliper itself.
Into the caliper itself. Now, if I can get this on without it draining quicker.
So you have a copper washer on either side, and they actually get crushed a little bit. So they're a one-use thing.
One-use thing, and this is not the right same size. Weird. So when you're tightening that particular bolt, remember that's hollow. That is not meant to be torqued or twisted. We don't know what the actual specs are, but what would you say? Just like firm on that, man? Would you say just like make sure that we get that one firm, or should that be like?
It should be fairly tight. You have to put enough pressure on those copper washers to crush them a little bit, but you don't want to go overboard with it because you can break that bolt off.
That would suck.
Yes.
We don't want to do that. So snug or firm, I guess, is the...
One way to look at it, though, is it's already pre-drilled in the middle for an easy out.
That's true. So, yeah, I feel like that. You hear what this man does. He's always doing it. I'm tightening something down and be like, snap. It's driving you nuts. Okay, so this side is assembled now. That's not bad, right? The whole thing is assembled. So now we need to... we got to do the other side first before we do the bleeding. There's no point in that. Correct. So it's back in place, but that's not bad, is it? That's pretty easy. So we'll get the other side done, and then we'll and you get to enjoy maybe some nice music here if we're doing if Joel's doing any sort of a fast forward. Is that Mario? Okay. Anyway, we'll get the other side, and then we'll come back and talk about it, and cut and action at the same time. Okay, next step time. We got this pretty sweet little thing right here. We've never tried this. Normally when you change these out, you're like pumping the brakes like 900 times and you got to have help. And although help is good, sometimes it can be nice if you have a different kit. So that's what this is. It's a brake, bleeder, and vacuum pump kit. But this is from Harbor Freight. So this is the first time we've used this. So we think we've got this figured out, but what's the process on this here?
So, welcome to science class.
Welcome to science class.
With Dr. Torque.
With Dr. Oh, I like it.
So, anyway, this is a vacuum pump. You pump it like this and it actually sucks. It sucks air.
It's sucky.
Sucks whatever it wants to suck. And you can build up different amounts of vacuum with that. So right here with my finger you can see I'm able to go up to like 15 whatevers of mercury, something inches, I believe inches.
It does sound like science class.
Yeah, science.
Let me say something. If science class would have been cool stuff like this, I'd have paid way more attention. You know what I'm saying? I would have. Wouldn't you have?
I took all sorts of science classes.
Did you pay attention?
Not always.
See, there wasn't cool enough stuff. Okay, continue, Dr. Torque.
So in any case, what we're trying to do is we want to pull all of the air out of the brake line, that we just introduced air to when we drained, things. And so what we're going to do is we're going to be able to work from the caliper end of things, and we're able to pull brake fluid down the line from the master cylinder and the air with it.
So the bleeder valve is on the top, and the brake line comes in the bottom of the caliper. So we're pulling fluid into the caliper until what? Till there's no air coming out?
Till there's no air coming out. So what happens here is, you can't suck, the liquid into this thing. So this has a line that goes between it and it in this little canister,
reservoir,
and it pulls the liquid and air into that, but then it like just falls down into the bottom here. and that way, you know, we're not ruining the vacuum pump. And eventually, all the bubbles should stop. And then you tighten the bleeder valve again.
Yeah, so, yeah, I guess since this is a specialized wrench, it can slide over the line, but it'd be tight, so put that on first.
Yeah,
we'll show you.
Put that on first, and then, you know, you pump this up, and then you break the line loose. Or not the line, but it's a line at that point.
Yeah, it is a line.
The bleeder valve, and then you watch all the bubbles, and you pump this up still to make sure you continuously have vacuum on it. Otherwise, you defeated your own, you know, efforts. But then you can tighten this at any time. But then you tighten it when you're done, and then you move on to the other one. And then you can check your brake pedal, make sure everything works fine. And then Jake dies on the way home.
Tune in next time.
Raptor crashes.
That's right. All right. Well, we're on to the next step. I'm pretty excited to try this out because it's a brand new tool, and I'm hoping that it's good. What was that? I didn't see it.
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. All right. And action. I think we can. Yeah, well all right, we're filming. Okay, so we ended up doing it the old-fashioned way, and then we thought, well, maybe this will just be good for double checking it at the end. But when you pump this up, it's just, I don't think it's a high enough pressure, because when I crack this, I see like the tiniest little flow of fluid, and I can't tell if there's any air or not. So I think the conclusion is that sometimes the cheap stuff from, you know, like Pittsburgh and Harbor Freight is awesome, and sometimes maybe it's better to get a higher quality or need to be almost like an electric or pump or something. This isn't cutting it. I think we're gonna call this one like a not success. What do you think, man?
You know, for the amount of time we put into it, we could have bled the brakes the old way and been done and had the wheels back on. And
yeah.
So, not really my cup of tea.
But now we know. We've never done it before, and
now we probably never will.
Now we never will. We could use these hoses for draining, because it is nice to put this on and then let it drain down into a pan. So that's the win.
Yeah, we didn't squirt brake fluid all over everywhere. We just, you know, used the hose to put it where we wanted it to go.
So we're gonna say nay on this one. Nay. We're looking over at a mail showing up. So all right, well, we'll just finish doing it the old-fashioned way. Great. Okay, so this is a good opportunity to point out a little safety. Just do it at the end. Getting grease and things on these can really cause a problem, because that whole problem that I was facing, where it was jerky one way or the other, you can duplicate that, or potentially even worse, because one side's slick. And we've been working here, I've been touching this, and I actually see a couple fingerprints, even though I was very careful. So it's just really good. Just get some brake cleaner and just clean these off. I mean, it only takes a moment. Oh, and then the brakes are stuck.
Oh, we did just pump them up a whole bunch.
We did. That's as far as I can get. And
I'll help him in a minute.
Yeah, help. Make sure you finish cleaning them, but just a little tip. It only takes a few minutes, especially with help, and then we don't have to worry about these being dangerous. And also, now we're done. We just got to clean these up and put the wheels back on. So, on to the next step. Are you filming?
And here we have Jake putting on a 3,000-pound tire.
And they do.
He uses a secret trick of putting a board down to help, because it is a really heavy tire.
Yeah. And then I sit because...
Then you can see.
And this one's way too high.
Oh, you want to lower it?
But I also found that if I leverage my arms this way, you can pick up a lot more weight than normal. So we're actually ready. No, we're not. We have a board, and then we have jack stands. A board and then jack stands.
Did I jack it up enough to get the jack stands? Oh, look at that.
Ow, that's my knee. Ow. Son of a snakey.
You hit yourself in the knee with a jack stand?
Yeah, I swung it right out into it.
Did you learn anything?
He likes to say that.
I just want to know if people learn from their experiences.
But in a way that you don't want to answer with a positive.
We apparently both had fathers that asked that question.
We want to say, no. All right. Lightly down. Slowly.
Bam.
Ooh, that's actually not bad.
Yeah, this jack is a little easier to control than the other one. That other one's like, slowly, 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 go.
Okay, so now we guys got to torque this baby.
Some paper towels.
And then we got to go exchange the cores. But we're done, so cool. So that was awesome. If you want to see how we did the rotors and the pads, you can tune into that. That was another video, maybe we'll link in the description. But I'd say this is a pretty simple project if you want to try it out. It's kind of fun, kind of satisfying. And then you can have brakes in a vehicle that doesn't try to kill you. Well, that was a successful test run. I'm pretty happy with that. No pulling, no warbling, which we fixed before, but warbling, wobbling, vibration, surging. That's a pretty simple fix. Oh, cost. So I spent under 200 on that. It was like, not even that, it was like 160 or so, something like that.
It's like 170 plus, you know, before tax.
So that's not bad. That's a whole lot less if you took it to the any of the, I was gonna name a name brand, but any of the places at all. That's way less, and you get the satisfaction of doing it. It was not that bad at all. And now I don't have to worry. I don't think we got to drive it for a while, but that was a decent drive on the freeway. It's not gonna kill me and try to jump off the edge of a cliff. So, oh, we're blocking the sidewalk. I'm sorry, people. Hold on. Okay, they got around. Good. So, hey, thanks for hanging out. We think that was cool. If you want to help us out, you got to do a thumbs up or thumbs down if you didn't like it, or comment, positive, negative. YouTube don't care. And that help us out. If you're feeling really, really froggy, as I said before, you can even subscribe. Thanks for hanging out. Have an awesome...
Do all of those things. I command you.
Now you have to. The director said so. Have an awesome rest of the day or evening. Enjoy yourself a nice drink or tea or whatever it is. We love you. This is Tom's favorite part. We're going to take you out. You know what it is with the fist bump of friendship. Whoop-ow. Fall off a lot like
Sure does.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. And then don't get grease on that or anything.
Well, it won't catch and yank that direction anymore if you grease that rotor up nicely.
That's true. Well, this is only somewhat tricky part.
I'd help you, but I'm overwhelmed with my camera duties.
That's right.
Plus, I don't want to.
Plus you're to the director. Director doesn't do the work. He directs the build the project.
Try harder, Jake.
I want to see this one with more energy and get it right this time.
Smile.
I want to line up. We're trying to show people that this is an easy project. It's simple. Aha! I got it.
Did you?
I don't know. No, you gotta be kidding. It's easy to just slap these babies in here usually. Let's see here. Usually.
Super easy.
They just slide down on in. There we go. Don't you like your home? That's your home. Come on. I'm just trying to film this show. There we go. Easy peasy. Piece of cake.